what people call a cradle Episcopalian. I was born in Calvary. My mother, her sisters, my grandfather were all members of Calvary from Wilson Street, the original Calvary. I was born here, raised in this church with my mother and her sisters, as well as some cousins who later joined other churches. I knew that that was rare to be an African-American Episcopal church in Charleston. It's always been a source or a place that I could go to. Sometimes just sitting in the sanctuary was just a good place for calm, for peace, for quiet. Back in the 1920s, this church started a kindergarten, a school for children because African-American children couldn't go to public schools. There wasn't a private kindergarten that they could go to. They had enough thought to say, we need to do something for our children. And Calvary started that. And then from that, other things branched off, but it just started at Calvary. You would just be surprised at the number of people that have matriculated through Calvary kindergartens. There was a whole lot of family and family connections in Calvary. As a child, our priest, Father Mackey, their house was our administration building. So it was never strange to see Father Mackey on the steps or around. The women and the men of this church, they always showed that they cared. That was just that village. Mr. Hamilton, for example, I've known Mr. Hamilton all of my life. And I will say to this day, he is a part of my village. And even now I know for that wise word, that's where I go to. Over the years, my faith has grown and is strengthened because I see there are those that stay, and they stay because of what they believe in. They see it as a place of being guided and rooted. They believe in the church, they believe in that connection, they believe in family, they believe in what Calvary stands for. And I remember we had lawyers, doctors, teachers in my church, especially as African-American children. We had those role models present right here in my church. I didn't have to go out to find them, they were right here. One of the things that has stuck with me, and any person that has attended Calvary Kindergarten will tell you, his famous saying was, if you listen, you will learn. If you learn, you will be smart. I teach now, I'm a teacher, and that's one of the things that I say to my students. When we think about the African American custom, a lot of times we don't write things down. So we had to listen. We had to pay attention that way. A continuing vision for Calvary is to always be ready to serve the community, to be present for the community, to support the community. Before it was a day school, and then it was members throughout the church doing whatever they could. And again, it came back to Calvary. So we just have to broaden and grow again within the community, to stay in the community, to stay connected to the community. And again, just draw people in because of what we share, the love of God and just making connections with people. This is a church that has gone years without a priest, and this congregation was still able to withstand itself, to hold itself together. In the late 50s, early 60s, when it had a priest who, at that time, we were not a full church, but we stood and we worked and we did what we had to do to become a church, and the strength of its people, it didn't waver. They stood firm until they became a part of what is now the Diocese of South Carolina. There was something about the fire within the women that kept Calvary going. And we had many women who had bachelor's degrees, master's degrees. We had medical doctors, but at the same time, we had those women who had high school diplomas. But to sit and talk with them, you think that you're talking to a lawyer, because they knew how to negotiate. They knew how to just sit down and conduct meetings in a way that just impressed you. Because of them, I was encouraged to go to college. I was encouraged to do more, to not settle for just that, to go on, to be something more, to do my best, to conduct myself a certain way. Calvary still stands. Calvary hasn't gone away. we're still here. We have not wavered. I hope for Calvary's future that we continue, that people remember its legacy, that we don't forget from whence we've come. I remember one of the ministers would always say, and yet we are still alive. And that's Calvary. And yet, through it all, we are still alive. We are still here.